Hi dear students, in the previous session we discussed about the different properties of animal kingdom, and in today's session we will continue with the few properties and we will go through directly to the classification. So here the organisms will exhibit the development, that is development of an organism. It will be of two types. One is direct development and other is indirect development. So what is the exact meaning of direct and indirect development? Here the organism which directly give birth to young ones, or otherwise in case of oviparous organism, egg is broken down and it will become an adult individual. So that type of development is called as direct one. And in indirect type of development, egg is converted into larvae, later on pupa, later on it is going to develop into a adult one. So there will be a developmental stages, intermediate stages will be there from egg to adult one, and that is called as indirect development. Egg directly give rise to adult one, that is direct. But when it comes to human beings, there will be a development takes place inside the body of an organism, and that is considered as a fertilization process, right. So here direct and indirect type of development. And second property, fertilization. Fertilization. So in case of fertilization, here the fertilization is of two types. One is internal fertilization and other is external fertilization. External fertilization. So when the complete development takes place inside the mother's womb, and that is called internal, and the example is all the mammals except egg laying echidna and platypus. But in case of egg laying organisms like oviparous one, there will be a development and fertilization process. Here the fertilization process outside the mother's womb. That means in the environment there will be a fertilization process taking place, the incubation and opening of that egg and later on coming of the individual, that will takes place, and that is called as external one, right. Internal and external fertilization. We will go through reproduction. Reproduction. In case of reproduction, in animal groups there is two different methods. One is asexual method of reproduction and other sexual method of reproduction. Sexual method of reproduction. Asexual refers to there is no involvement of gametes, directly it may be by budding or regeneration. And next is sexual method, there will be an involvement of male and female gametes will be taking place and later fuses to form a zygote. And majority all the organisms in animal group will exhibit sexual method of reproduction, only if you exhibit asexual method of reproduction. And next property, we will take up the organ system. So here is a organ systems. First we will find the nutrition providing digestive system. So here the first system is digestive. Digestive system. In case of digestive system, a very simple diffusion will make a food intake, or the pseudopodian movement will forms the intake of food, or the osteopore, osculum. So these will be the structures which provide the intake of food. Food trapping will be done. So in this way the food intake will be absorbed. But in case of digestive system, you can find that digestion will takes place in two different ways. So one is intracellular digestion, intracellular cellular digestion and the other is extracellular digestion. In intracellular digestion, the food which is taken inside will be digested within the cell itself. Intra refers to within, and extracellular digestion, here the cells which are responsible and which are present inside the digestive system will secrete some of their secretory substances and forms the digestion which act upon the food molecules, and that type of digestion is called as extracellular digestion. This type of digestion, extracellular, will be found in higher level organisms, but intracellular digestion will be present in lower group of organisms. And next organ system is respiratory. Respiratory, when you find the respiratory word, it may also express you the breathing and exchange of gases and also the getting of energy. Here the respiratory system will suggest you that the breathing and exchange of gases, breathing process, and other is getting energy. Getting energy. How exactly you will suggest the breathing and exchange of gases? Here oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is expelled out. So that is breathing and exchange of gases. But getting of energy, it will take place inside the mitochondria, and that is called respiration, mitochondria, and on the complex material like C6H12O6, oxygen will be acted upon this and it acts as the fuel molecule and helps in giving of energy in the form of ATP. And if the oxygen is present during the respiration process of mitochondria, and those organisms are called as aerobic organisms or aerobics, and if they will not take up the oxygen for respiration and are called as anaerobics, right? So aerobics and anaerobics. And when it comes to breathing and exchange of gases, the lower organism, in case of lower organism, they will utilize general body surface for breathing and exchange of gases, or it may be gills. In case of fishes, you can observe that gills will be responsible for breathing and exchange of gases. And later on to the higher organisms, lungs will be forming or contributing for this action. So regarding respiratory system, the next system is circulatory system. In case of circulatory system, there will be two different types. One is open type of circulatory system and the other is closed circulatory system. In open type of circulatory system, which is present in insects and also the lower organisms, where all the body parts are bathed in the blood. That means you can find that this is the surface area of a organism, and if you consider these are some of the organelles, and completely blood is flowing here and there. So that means all the organelles which are present inside the organism is bathed with the blood, and there is no particular agents or the structures to support the transport of blood like arteries, veins which are present in a higher organisms. But in case of closed system, there will be a presence of our largest pumping organ, then later it will pumps the blood into various parts, and there will be a coordinated action of organ called as heart, pumping organ, and then arteries, veins, capillaries, lymph and lymph nodes will be there in case of circulatory system. In the same way, some other things, in circulatory system of lower organisms, there will be a easy flow of materials will takes place. When it comes to the chordates, you can find two chambered art, 3-chambered art and 4-chambered art. To support unmixing of blood of deoxygenated and the oxygenated one, it makes 2 and 4 chambers, and in 3-chambered art there will be a mixing of blood will takes place. In fishes there will be 2-chambered art, 1 ventricle and 1 auricle. In 3-chambered art 2 auricles and 1 ventricle, and in 4-chambered art 2 auricles and 2 ventricles respectively. And then come to the circulation process. There are 2 different methods of circulation. One is single circulation and other is double circulation. Single circulation refers to blood which enters the pumping organ only once for the completion of its transport throughout the body, and that is called single circulation. We will take up one rough diagram to understand this. Say for example, this is one auricle and this is a other ventricle, and there will be a lungs over here. The blood which is oxygenated will come over here first, poured into ventricle, pumped by the vein, and later it will reach us to other part of the body. Again it will delivered, oxygenated blood is delivered, again deoxygenated blood will be coming up, and later it will reach us directly to the lungs. So in this way only once the blood is entering to the heart. But when it comes to double circulation, we will take up the rough diagram of the heart, which is 4-chambered. Right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle, left ventricle, right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. And consider this as a lungs and this as a other part, any body part. So here the oxygenated blood first will come to the left auricle, delivered to the left ventricle, then pumped by the pumping organ, reaches to the body part, and later it is delivered. Oxygen is going to be get delivered. Again it will come with the deoxygenated blood by taking up carbon dioxide formed during respiration in mitochondria, and again it enters the right auricle through in superior vena cava, again enters to the right ventricle, again pumped by inferior vena cava to the lungs. So we will understand this circulatory system when it comes to the human physiology in detail regarding double circulation and single circulation. I am just going to convey you that single entry of blood to the heart, double entry of a blood to the heart. So this is regarding the circulatory system. And the last one will be the excretory system. Excretory system. The process of excretion will be taking place by the help of either the cells in lower organisms, either may be the organs in next intermediate type of advanced organism, and later on by the particular organ system, that is excretory system. When it comes to the very lowermost organisms called as poriferans, there will be a presence of astia, cells called as astia. Then coming with the flame cells in platyhelminthes, and then H organ, one type of organ called as H organ in case of Aschelminthes, roundworms anteli kariತೀವಿ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ next. Fourth one you can find Malpighian tubules in insects, and then you can find the gills in fishes. Sixth one, kidneys. So you can find the lineage or the developmental structures, and which is getting advanced when it comes to next higher group of organisms. Poriferans forms simple diffusion. Flame cells, a special type of cells, only performs excretion. And H type of organ which is present in Aschelmanthus only perform excretion. Malpighian tubules are the organs which are present, are in close contact with the digestive system of insects, and then later gills and the kidney. When it comes to kidney, there is a group of organs which makes a complete system, right, regarding excretory system. So you can able to analyze the developmental pattern or the lineage which are present in lower organisms and also in higher organisms. When it comes to each and every phyla, you can find out the special and unique structures which are responsible for bringing of any of the systems in each and every organism, right. So regarding development, fertilization, reproduction, organ system, respiratory, adರಲ್ಲಿ digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory and excretory, right. So this completes the general properties and also the structures. So next we will take up the general classification of organisms. General classification of organisms. Here many different properties supports the classification process. In that, the first one, animal kingdom, totally of animal kingdom is classified generally or broadly into two based on notochord structure. Based on the presence or absence of notochord. Based on the presence or absence of notochord, you can able to broadly classify the animal kingdom into two. Those are non-chordates and here it is chordates. Majority of all the phyla present here will be of non-chordate. First one, Porifera, second is Cnidarians, Ctenophora, fourth is Platyhelminthes, fifth is Aschelmanthus. Helminthes refers to worms, Aschelmanthus. And sixth one, Annelida. Seventh one, Arthropoda, with diverse group of organisms. Arthropoda, poda means jointed legs, Arthropoda. And next, eighth one, Mollusca, shelled animals, Mollusca. And last is Echinodermata, that means rough scale containing organisms, Echinodermata. And here one of the organism is kept here in non-chordates, but it possesses a notochord structure for some time, and that is called as Hemichordata. So these are the non-chordate groups. And when come to the chordates, you can find the presence of chordate structure, notochord, in earlier lifespan, in early of its lifespan, or it may degenerate in its half of the life, or it may present in the tail structure. If the notochord persists in the tail structure and are called as urochordata. See, based on the retaining of the notochord structure, based on retaining of the notochord structure, the chordates can be classified into 3 different categories, and they will leave its chordate structure, notochord structure, with very short lifespan, or it may be persistent throughout its life. ಅದರ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದು ಒಂಥರದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮು, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅರ್ಲಿಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸು. ಮತ್ತು ಆ ನೋಟೋಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರು ಅದು ಹೆಡ್ ರೀಜನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅಥವಾ ಟೈಲ್ ರೀಜನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂಥರದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ chordate which will be either persistent or it may be present in the short lifespan. The notochord structure will be present in the tail region and are called as urochordate, and it will be present in the head region, and the word called as cephalo, it refers to head. Cephalochordates, where the notochord will be present in the head region, and later it will be present throughout the body and throughout its lifespan, and it will be converted into vertebral column. Notochord is different from vertebral column. Keep it in mind. I will be explaining this in a structural organization in animals. Vertebral column, where vertebrates. The notochord structure will be turned or converted into vertebral column, and those group of organisms are called as a vertebrates. So here the vertebrates again classified into two different categories based on the presence of jaws and absence of jaws. So here if they are absent with the jaws, A refers to absence and are called as agnathostomes, and the presence will be called as gnathostomes. Again, these agnathostomes are classified into 2 based on the presence of their internal skeletal structure. If the skeletal structure is made up of bones or otherwise cartilage made, and are called as a bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes. And all are here fishes only. And again these gnathostomes will be classified into 4 different groups. Those are amphibians, reptiles, and later on aves. These are commonly called as birds, and last is mammals. So here again this classification will be elaborated into the presence of limb structures and the absence of limb structures. Limbs illa but gills idave. Based on the locomotory structure you can classify these ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋವು ಒಂದು, ಅವನ್ನ ಎಗ್ನಾಥೋಸ್ಟೋಮ್ಸ್ ಫಿಶಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ ದಿ ಗಿಲ್ಸ್. And gnathostomes, they possess a limbs. Amphibians possess limbs and upper limb and the lower limb. Reptiles, they also possess limbs. Aves, they turned into wings and the limbs. And mammals, they also possess the limb structure. Here absence of limbs and presence of limbs. Gnathostomes, agnathostomes. The presence of jaws basis is agnathostomes and gnathostomes. Again we can consider that gnathostomes are limb containing and agnathostomes are limb doesn't possess the limbs. So this is about the general classification. You can analyze the organisms here in non-chordates and chordates. Non-chordates with 9 actual non-chordate and 1 hemichordate, that means they contain half of the chordate structure. And in chordates again divided based on the persistency and the retaining capacity of notochord in various parts of its body. Tail alidre and head alli, urochordate tail and cephalochordate head, and later on conversion into vertebral column called as vertebrates. And regarding this I have explained. So we completed with the general classification of animal kingdom. In coming up videos, the sessions, we will discuss about the phyla in detail with each and every examples. Okay, thank you dear students.